Hey everyone, in this video I want to go over discussion 2, and when I'm done it's going to go somewhere right here. Now at first glance it looks like discussion 2 has a lot of information on there, has a lot of things to do. However, once you read it 3 times for clarity, you're going to find that really it can be summed up right here. What you will be doing for discussion 2. You will use this discussion board to share your answer to the discussion 2 prompt. So here are all the questions, and you will attach your design. So you're going to be designing a flyer for this activity. So you'll attach that, or you'll include that in your discussion. And then the third part is the reply component. You're going to provide feedback on your classmates' initial post and also their flyer design. And unlike your introduction post, where you could choose the person to reply to, for discussion 2, as of the time of this recording, I have assigned each of you to one other person. So if you scroll down far enough under additional instructions, you're going to see the person you are assigned to as far as giving peer review feedback. And I will just let you read through what that peer review feedback would look like. It would, however, include looking at the rubric and giving your feedback that way. So your replies would involve, well, it's a peer review. So you're going to take a look at your classmates' post and their design and give feedback and use the rubric for that purpose to help you in giving that feedback. So those are the different parts for discussion 2. And discussion 2, as you were prepped for it in an earlier assignment, is going to be about Diversity Day at Athens State for the summer 2024 semester. It's set to happen June 21st. That's a Friday from about around 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And so if you refer back to assignment 3 from a previous module, so I put a link right here, this is where I introduce you to this event. So here's assignment 3, and I asked you to take a look at all the information about the overall project. So I'm calling these discussions related to Diversity Day the IMC lab, Integrated Marketing Communication Lab. And in addition to all of that, I had you learn about integrated marketing communications via this video, and then of course your textbook readings. And then I had you read information about the upcoming Diversity Day event this year. And then I ask you to take a look at previous designs from a previous semester. So there's all that. And then I had you follow along a video tutorial, 5 videos, where I introduced you to using Canva, and I had you practice creating something Athens State related. And then I talked about the whole concept of visual identity, branding, and things of that nature. So if you haven't already completed this before doing discussion 2, or if you need to revisit, go ahead and go back to assignment 3 and read all about all this information that I just showed you. So background info about Diversity Day, and then also a tutorial using Canva. Now, as an integrated marketing communication course, I wasn't just going to have you create a flyer, right? There's going to be a strategy behind that. You'll want to use what you've learned from the information I've given you and also your assigned readings so that you will purposely select strategies that make sense for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So in this case, it would be creating a flyer. So you'll keep the target audience in mind, for example. You'll keep the Athens State brand in mind. And then you'll also see how Diversity Day could be marketed or communicated to Athens State University's target audience. So, with all of that, that's why, with all of that information, that's why I want to add to your learning by talking about the concept of brand equity. So, take a look at this next video there. And then there's that reminder again to look at assignment 3 for the information, the foundational information. And then here's a little tip right here about looking at chapter 3 of the textbook, because that will be most relevant to what you're trying to do here. Now, going back to the things that you will be doing for this discussion, right? So there's that flyer, but you're also answering the discussion to prompt, which is now this section right here. So I highlighted it so that it stands out from the other parts. So you will be answering these questions. And for this activity, think of Athens, Athens State University will be the brand that you're studying, and Diversity Day event will be what Athens State is promoting. And the deliverable would be that flyer. So I'll let you read through the different items. And just as a preview, see, I put on here to provide a brief explanation of how your flyer design takes into account what you wrote here. So there's that being purposeful about having a strategy behind your design. So that takes me to the flyer itself. In addition to the information I presented to you in assignment 3, since we just met earlier this week, I've gotten more information. And so I provided the information that would be most relevant to what you're trying to create. So first, let me show you the additional information. If you click on that, it'll take you to this page. So Diversity Day 2024 for discussion 2. So June 21st in the gym, 2 to 5 p.m., there will be a featured speaker. And here are 2 links for you to check out more information about this featured speaker. And there's general information about what else will be going on during this event. We will have food, vendors, and other presentations. So for this flyer, it's going to be different from what you saw in assignment 3, because this one is for the entire event. And we'll eventually get to the point where we will create flyers that will talk about the event itself in a general manner like this one. But for this first activity, I would like for you to design a flyer about the featured speaker. And so I'll let you take a look at the information again on this page. Take a look at those 2 links. So once to a website and once to this person's Facebook profile. So look through the images and look through the different things that are on there and see if you think some of those might work for a flyer featuring the speaker. And if you do find a picture, my recommendation, right, because you are going to be creating a flyer that features this speaker, then my recommendation would be to include some kind of picture of this person, like something like this. So maybe you can find something on the website or on this person's Facebook profile, or maybe out on the internet. If anything, it could just be a placeholder, right? Because here's the other part, which that reminds me I need to update the instructions on here. This is for a real event, for a real client, and I will be presenting your design to the committee planning this. And so if your design is chosen, then I would also like for you to be available to make edits so that we can finalize your flyer and send it out, distribute it to our target audience so that they'll know about this event. And as you're designing this, then that would mean, right, that you should put your best work or or do your best work. That's what I was trying to say. And be consistent with Athens State branding. So I listed those things out. Making consistent with the message and tone that Athens State brand stands for, and then also based on your target audience and also the event itself. Research other flyer designs to get an idea. So get inspiration from those. Don't just copy off or go off what you see here. Take a look at other examples, and then Canva, which I recommend you use to create this. So I don't have a specific platform I'm asking you to create this in. However, I recommend Canva. So Canva has lots of different ideas on there too that you could draw from. Just ensure that you are consistent with the Athens State brand. Now, before I show you anything else in Canva, let me make sure that I've talked about everything else that I wanted to. Okay, so Canva. To start a new design, there's a button here that says create a design. And from there, you'll have different options. And from the instructions, I say to create something that's 8.5 by 11. Well, here it is right here, flyer, 8.5 by 11. And when you choose that, it'll create that. And you'll want to give your project a name right here. And then you can start doing your design. You could find a template and then reconfigure it, redo it to match the Athens State brand and to include information that would be appropriate for promoting a featured speaker for this event. And so keep in mind all those different things that you learned about using Canva and then also being consistent with the Athens State brand. And in addition to all of that, here are the different things to include in the design itself. So have some kind of headline, call to action. If you look at the examples from assignment 3, that's what they have. Like this one says, join us for Diversity Day. And then include the date, time, and location. That's pretty important for communication. And then you'll want to include the same disclaimer. So it starts with the contents, dot, dot, dot. So look at the other flyers and you'll see that information I'm talking about. This right here. The contents of the event were developed under a grant and so on. And then you'll also want to make sure I put that on here. Same disclaimer. Okay, it looks like I accidentally took it off, but you also want to include this purpose statement right here. And then I'll leave it to you to put the other relevant information on there, right? If it's about the speaker, then of course you'll want to put the speaker's name, their image or some kind of image, and all of that. Oh, one more thing, a QR code. Leave space for the QR code, and then include images and graphics as you see fit, and then include the Athens State logo on there. All right, so that is what I have for discussion 2. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.